All right, so here we are with our second attempt to put this tie wire on again. So I'm going to use about a hand width or about 4 inches there. And I'm going to start just by hand wrapping it around as tight as I can. Now while I do that, I'm going to drop my channel locks here down where I can start to kind of crimp that around the frame. There we go. I found on this first tie, just to kind of get it to where it will stay. Now there's my tick mark there, so I want to adjust that up there. And now we're going to move on. Now before I try to tie this around, you can see all these irregular bends in the wire. So by hand, I'm going to try to bend those out. It doesn't have to be flawless. You're looking for an overall straight wire. Use the other ones that have been finished as a guide. So if you see anything large, you want to take it out by hand because pulling it tighter won't take these bends out. The gauge of the wire is too thick and it won't work. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of put some tension and I'm going to wrap, pull my wire through as it is 10.5 feet long. And I'm going to go up, and this, kind of like a fisherman's hook, I want to be nice and tight around the wire. That's nice and tight. And we'll go on to the next one. Let me grab my pliers. We'll move on to the next one. Okay, so again, I'm going to take out some of these irregularities. Humming is optional. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of pull. All right, so we're at a point now. I'm going to zero the channel locks out. I just want to make sure I've got good tension on this wire. So I'm going to grab them. I'm going to use the head of these channel locks to kind of rock back on the frame and tighten this wire out. Now I don't want to tighten it so much that I start to stretch the wire because that's where it will break. What will happen is you'll stretch it so tight it'll just snap like I showed you in that first video. So now we're nice and tight. Now you want this wire touching the other wire. You don't want a loose gap there, in other words. It needs to be right, nice and tight in order if it's going to hold. All right, and then we move down to our last one again. Now, this is the problem. I got to do this over again, but it's too short, so we don't have enough. So I think what we're going to do to avoid this is we're going to go 11 feet because we don't want to run into this.
Ever.
It's just too much work to waste and then get down to your last one and you don't have enough. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. We're going to cut an 11 footer and do it again.